Hello, I'm AbbyX and welcome back to QnA Saturday. QnA Saturday is a weekly series of an online channel where I answer your questions about a variety of subjects, usually focused around the next major update for Minecraft. And it comes across all platforms there, as well as a bunch of other variety questions that just come in from the comment section of last week's video. So if you want to ask any for next week's Q&A, you can leave them in the comments down below, because that's where I pick them from. So with that said, I hope you do all enjoy QnA Saturday. If you do, please do like the video and let me know, because it helps out the channel a lot and lets me know you do like the Q&A and answering questions. I guess that comes with Q&A, doesn't it? But with that said, if you are going to leave a question for next week, I would very strongly recommend waiting till the middle of this next week to do it, because you probably have a stronger chance of being picked then. Not that I know that anything might be happening then, but yeah, I'm just saying there might be something happening that might change the chances of a question being picked. But with that said, let's just get straight to the first one already. I think I said too much there. Going into the first question, which comes in from Rob Murple Durple, who asks, #Q&A, hey Toycat, do you think the axes in 1.9 are too overpowered? I mean, Stone Axe does 9 damage, maybe they can make Emerald Sword or something that does that instead. So, yeah, this is a really common thing I've had, because, admittedly, you know, I was one of the people that kind of phrased it in the way that sounds awful, because a wooden axe is just as powerful as a diamond sword in Minecraft 1.9. You hear that statistic by itself, and you're like, geez, these Minecraft developers don't know anything. But the actual fact behind it that makes the wooden axe not better than the diamond sword is that in 1.9 they added a hit delay that you're probably familiar with. If you're not, then basically it just means that there's a slight delay between when you can attack and when you can attack again and do full damage. The delay on all the axes is double that of the sword, so even though the diamond axe does quite a bit more damage than the sword, it still has the massive delay, which means you can do more damage per second with a sword. And the axe is only good if you want to hit someone, run away, hit them, run away again, and it kind of just means that all the weapons do different things now. So I do not think axes are overpowered, and I think an emerald sword would be a really bad idea, only because emeralds right now work as a currency. If you put them on a sword, then people will, some be trading with villagers to get this awesome sword, and then where would you put emerald on the list? Would you put it below diamond? And it's the whole issue again. So yeah, the emerald sword isn't something I can say I'd like, and I don't think axes are overpowered. I honestly think they might be slightly underpowered. I think they should be just as viable as the sword in some cases, and right now, even on servers, or even when people seem to have the options to use both, most people use a sword. So yeah, I'd say axes are a little bit underpowered, but they're axes, so it makes sense. But they do use more diamonds, so you have to kind of balance that up. But I would say that the sword-axe balance is just fine in 1.9 right now. But I've got a very controversial opinion on that one. A lot of people seem to think, no, it's all broken, but that's just my opinion, and that's what you clearly asked for. But let's move on to the second question before people try to burn me. The second question comes in from the Lost Miner, who asks, I heard that for the next update there will be Nether Wart blocks. Is this true? And I saw this comment like a few times before I saw this one, and I was like, it's weird how so many people are asking for that. It seems like a really unlikely feature, but as it turns out, it is something that was confirmed over the last week. So yeah, this is what a Nether Wart, there's 2 new Nether Wart blocks, I should say. Apparently they're both crafted from Nether Warts. As you can see, one of those is clearly just a Nether Wart block. I assume it's going to be crafted from 9 Nether Warts, or maybe just 4. That's the one on the top there. And then below it, it seems to be a Nether Wart brick. It looks suspiciously like the Nether brick, but it does have a slightly different color. And in general, yeah, pretty exciting stuff. We've got 2 new blocks coming in 1.10 on top of everything else we've seen so far, on top of all the other Nether blocks, and it seems like the Nether is getting a lot of attention in this update, which is pretty good stuff. So 1.10, the Nether update, maybe. But with that said, let's move on to the next question, which comes in from AJ's Coates, who asks, #ToyCatQnA. Do you think they will add the option to add or make mods to console, kind of like what Fallout 4 is doing? So I cannot wait until Fallout 4 actually brings it out, because the game released in November of last year, and so that means it's been 6 months now, right? If it's May. Yeah, 6 months now, and we still haven't got that, ability to have mods on console, which is one of those really exciting ideas, because it could be really, really cool. However, the system they're using for Fallout won't be able to work for Minecraft. You won't just be able to be like, we'll install this on the console, and that way we can have Pixelmon, and we can have whatever other mods, Lucky Block and Orspawn, and whatever all these other mods are called. The reason that won't work for the Minecraft is because every version of Minecraft is a distinctly separate game. The Pocket Edition is, an entirely separate game to the console edition, even though they use the same language, so there's some crossover. And then, both those 2 editions are different to the PC version, which is programmed in Java. So, unfortunately, mods will never be able to just cross-platform. You won't be able to just download the PC version of, Pixelmon. But I do think they'll be able to do something like that, because Fallout 4 is going to really be pioneering mods on console, and I think it could go somewhere exciting. It could also go nowhere, but again, I'll be checking it out. I'll be letting people know, because I think a lot of people out there are console players, and they want to know, is mods on console something we can expect from all games? And that's a question we'll be knowing, but it won't ever apply to Minecraft in the same way, because it's not the same game. Fallout 4 is the same game on all platforms. Minecraft is 3 separate games that just have the same look, feel, and more. So yeah, with that said, let's move on to the next question already, shall we? Sorry to put a dampener on that one. Let's get into a more exciting exciting question from Ethan Hamza, who asks, how do you pronounce GIF? So if you haven't already, I think I just said it right there actually. If you haven't already tried to burn me at the stake for my opinions in 1.9, I think the way I pronounce GIF is the slightly more popular way, because officially it is GIF. It's graphical. Oh, I should know the other two, but it's, the G in GIF stands for graphics, so it should be a hard GIF. It should be GIF like in graphics. However, and that's how the actual founder pronounces it. However, GIF just seems did I say it wrong? No, GIF. It's meant to be GIF, sorry. Even I get them confused. But yeah, it's meant to be GIF for some reason, like graphics, and basically I say GIF, even though that's not the correct one. And there's a lot of things like this on the internet where when you realize you're wrong, you just kind of can't go the web way. So if you know the website Imgur, right? So, IMGUR, that's officially pronounced Imager. Like, it's IMGUR, but everyone pronounces it Imgur, and so do I. And I know it's wrong, and I just can't fix it. So yeah, I pronounce it GIF, and I pronounce it Imgur. What are you going to do about it, internet? I guess you can't really do too much. And you probably pronounce it that way too. I'd hope so anyway. But with that said, let's move on to the next question, back into the Minecraft, because Trig Tenon asks, when will the next big update for MCPE be? So, Minecraft Pocket Edition is, of course, one of the more interesting versions of the game when it comes to updates. They're getting them the fastest, and it means that, honestly, you're never too far away from an update, especially if it's been a while since the last one. And given that the last update came out in February, if I'm not mistaken, I had to look into it, I really do think we'll be seeing the next update soon. The alpha for 0.15 came out recently. I was in it, and I think it's stopped being in the case now, which means it's going into beta now, and beta is generally a few weeks away from the launch, so I would say late June is when you can expect the next update, but that's just a rough kind of thing. It's looking like it's going to be exciting because it's going to introduce realms that could have some exciting possibilities for the console in the future, but yeah, next update for MCPE, pretty soon, I guess, to kind of summarize that question. Anyway, let's move on to the next question, shall we? Which comes in from Brandon Bardsley, who asks, #QnA, when do you think the next major update for console will be? So I think we're going to get some form of big announcement on this soon, in the next few weeks or month or something like that, and with that said, I think it's if I had to guess, I think it's almost certainly one of those two things, but I think it's probably gonna be something that's not 1.9, because 1.9 is such a big update, and usually the big update is the second one of the year. Again, I don't know how they allocate their time, but based on what we've seen from the smaller update, from the first update in a year, it's usually the smaller one. So I think servers might be more likely, or something along those lines, or battle mode, or whatever you want to say. I think that's the more likely possibility than just all of 1.9 coming. But we could also see some of 1.9, and if I had to place money on it, I would say probably a small part of 1.9. I don't know why, but that just seems like the most likely thing in my mind. But I think servers are also just as likely. I think I kind of went all over the place in that question, but hopefully you gathered something from it. If you didn't, we can move on to the next question, which comes in from Fred Mays, who asks, what happens when you throw an ender pearl in the void? This is a fun question because it's something I wondered too, and I've actually done it a few times. What happens when you throw an ender pearl in the void is you throw it, and then it goes away, and it doesn't go anywhere. Because the thing about the void is there isn't just some magic lair where, the void stops and your ender pearl will hit it and you'll teleport there. The void goes on forever. I've gone to, like minus 10 million in the the ender pearl. That was a fun little thing. So basically what I want to know, though, is when you throw the ender pearl in the void, you don't ever get teleported, but does the ender pearl ever stop existing? Because, there's no reason otherwise for it to. Does that mean if you throw enough ender pearls down there, you can lag your world because there's always ender pearls existing? So if anyone knows how Minecraft PC works, or Minecraft in general works, I guess, because it's all the platforms, and you want to tell me exactly how that works, I'd love to know. But right now, it's one of those, like, if a bear falls in the wood and no one... that's not how it goes. If a bear falls in the wood and no one's hears it, did the bear ever die? And I guess it's that, but with ender pearls. And I'd like to know the answer. I'd like to know, is the bear alive? And if anyone knows, let me know in the comments. But to move on to the next question, where we'll hopefully make some sense, the anti-Enderman says, not everyone in America speaks English. So this isn't actually a question, which means this isn't an answer. But I just wanted to get a response to this, because last week I mentioned how, I was in a, Japanese restaurant and no one really spoke English at all, even though it was in New York, which is, primetime America. And that's true. I know there's lots of places kind of in the South where they speak Spanish a lot, and I imagine there's probably places in the far North where people speak French there too. But for the most part, English is the national language in America, and I feel like your life must be so difficult if you don't speak it, especially if no one in your restaurant speaks it. Like, how do you run a business in an English-speaking country where, like, 95% of people don't speak another language if you don't speak their language? I just didn't get it. That's all I was saying there. I'm not saying that, everyone should speak English. I'm just saying it just doesn't make much sense when no one does. So, with that said, let's move on to the next question from Ethan S., who asks, do you think they will bring the Farlands back to Minecraft? And the answer to that is they already are on the Pocket Edition. They haven't removed them from there, and I don't think they'll come back to the PC, because bear in mind the console can't have the Farlands because it doesn't go that far out. The PC though, they deliberately moved from the Farlands to the world border, and I think, you know, their reasoning behind that is like, oh, let's just have an actual fixed world size, and it's exactly 30 million, I think it is. I think they prefer that to like 12.48 million or like 558. I don't remember the exact number, but it's a really weird number, and then it kind of gets glitchy. So just, I guess they prefer having just a consistent feel to the world and having it feel like it's a real place over the just, oh, it's Farlands, it's glitchy, it's your world's glitching, and your game's crashed and now everything's broken. So that would be my assumption. I don't think the Farlands will come back. I just love it if they do. That's why I reference it so much, but I don't think it's actually going to happen, unfortunately, as cool as it be. So, yeah, let's move on to the final question now, shall we? Which comes in from Brooke P. So, again, because I mentioned the America story, I got another one of these questions, and this is one of those things that surprised me too, because Brooke P says, wait, in England, you don't have to sign when you use your credit card? I live in America, to be specific, California. Yeah, this is one of those weird things where I think America is just behind the world for some reason. I mean, maybe they're ahead of some countries, but obviously, like, when it comes to, like, that signing and doing the thing, I think that was relevant here maybe 20 years ago, but I know it was in my lifetime they introduced chip and pin, so every single debit card, I'd show you, but that's not a very good idea. Every single debit card has a chip on it, and that chip, somehow it interacts with a card reader. You type in a 4-digit pin, and if your card has a pin on it, you can do it that way. But then also about 3 or 4 years ago now, contactless is in the case, and this is the way I pay for everything, because as long as you have the card, you have that chip, you tap it, and now you've paid for the thing, and it's actually safe for a whole bunch of reasons. And yeah, to me, it's just so archaic having to do the swiping and signing and everything, like, because even when places swipe my card in Europe, they generally don't ask for a signature. I don't know why they do that in America. There's no actual reason for it, and that's why I was so offended when they asked me for a signature, which is already going out my way more than I've ever done for a card payment, and then they call my signature wrong. I hit my tape a little bit then again, but yeah, that's the reason behind that one. The Europe seems to be ahead of the world when it comes to card payments. In fact, I think it's the UK and Australia in particular that are really, really heavy on the contactless, and it's the best. There are contactless vending machines in airports now. I bought ice cream without needing to use cash, and it was the best. And I don't know what point I'm trying to raise here, but the point being is I hope you did all enjoy QnA Saturday. I hope you learned something about money, Minecraft, or ice cream. If you did, like the video and let me know. It helps out the channel a lot, lets me know you do like the Q&As. Share it if you really liked it, and subscribe if you're new around here. I make videos like this one. Well, I make like this one every single week, but I make videos every single day on my channel, and if you subscribe, you'll see those daily on your homepage. Again, I'd recommend, if you want like the best chance of having a relevant / answered question, to wait until next Wednesday to ask. I mean, you can ask one now and one then, I guess, too. You can do whatever you want. You're a free person. You can burn down the world, or you can, I don't know, buy a puppy farm. That's your prerogative. You enjoy that. But yeah, this is my choice is to end the video now, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.